Good morning, everybody. It's July 24th, 2018, 6:01 a.m. As always, we are starting with our current temperatures, which pretty much don't really matter, especially in the east, but in the west they certainly do matter. We are reaching temperatures that are breaking records at this point. I believe somewhere in Southern California, we have hit temperatures high enough to where if we do it for one more day, it will break a record from like the 1800s, something like that. Fires are a big issue going on right now. The Santa Ana winds are whipping up in California, and that extends all the way through the southwest as well. But believe it or not, the big story going on is the flooding going on in the east. And when I say east, I mean basically every single state from Florida all the way up through New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. Pennsylvania seems to be in the news a lot today. That's the state I'm living in, Hershey Park. I don't know if those of you that live outside of Pennsylvania know about Hershey Park, but they were literally underwater. Like part of a roller coaster was underwater. They have rivers that and little creeks that flow through the park. If you were there as a kid, you remember that they base your ability to ride on rides on your height, and that you would use different candy bars as the height levels. So like if you were a Snickers bar, you had to be this tall to ride this ride, and so on and so forth. It was pretty cool. I used to love the place when I was a kid. But anyway, you were looking at rain totals from now until the 29th. When you see reds, basically you just come over to this chart over here, and you can see that's 3 to 4 inches of rain. So South Carolina, Virginia, the coastal areas, you guys will more than likely see 4 to 5, even in some cases 6 inches of rain before the 29th reaches. We could see here into central to about the east side of Pennsylvania, we're getting into that 3 to 4 inch range. A lot of creeks and rivers in Pennsylvania that are beginning to crest. We have a big storm that is blowing up over the center of the U.S. right now. We can look at that here. I'm going to back up a few hours into the 23rd, which was overnight last night. You can see the storm just beginning to explode just north of Texas. So this is going to add to some of this rain flow. Now that was the last frame. Sorry, it reset it on its own. But if we watch this chart like we watched yesterday, you could see the moisture's flowing down from the jet stream. That's what's very unusual about this situation, guys, is that the jet stream has such a low dip right now that it's pulling moisture up from the Caribbean and the Gulf, and it's also using moisture coming down from Canada, which is a little bit cooler. But once it reaches these hot temperatures going on in the western U.S., it becomes moisture and storms, and you see these deep black colors, and they begin to U. It's a deep U all the way touching into the Gulf, and then it's shooting straight up into the east. And that is due, like we said yesterday, to a high pressure in the Atlantic Ocean. The high pressure bubble is pinning this all against the, all against the east coast of the U.S., and it's kind of whipping it in a circle, and we're just getting this repeat situation going on. So as I move forward here, we have about 200 frames to watch. This was last night. Right now, Florida, Louisiana was the source of a big storm that went into the Gulf and then fueled a bunch of rain that went over Florida. And now that is going to continue to come up through the Carolinas, through Georgia, the Panhandle especially, right around this area. The Panhandle is going to get a lot of rain. And then the Northeast, which is what we're going to talk about now, because the Northeast is... I'm telling you guys, there's roads closed all over where I live. I'm still waiting to find out if I'm even going into work today based off of this stuff. We're supposed to be working in an area that's basically underwater. And it's going to continue to happen through Wednesday, possibly into Thursday. So there's flash flood warnings. There's like straight up flood warnings going on, and you could see the different sides going on here. We have the purples and the oranges here, which is excessive heat warnings. You could see excessive heat warning here, and then heat advisories going on in the western states, mostly the southwest near Mexico and Southern California. And then as we look up into the Northeast, all these green colors here are flash flood watching, flood watches, anything that has to do with water. And you can see Southeast PA is right in this lime green area. You come match that with the chart, and you have flood advisories all over the place, flood warnings, flash flood watches. It's everywhere. It's pouring out right now outside my window, and it's just been heavy rain all night long. So lightning chart is basically the lightning is just outside into the Atlantic Ocean to the west of Florida and Georgia right now, going up into the Carolinas. We'll see if that makes its way up the East Coast. The GFS model is showing the exact same thing over the next couple of days. You just see the green, that is a precipitation map, and you can see by Thursday, July 26th, it kind of tapers off. But if you want to look a little bit into the future, that's not the end of it. We're going to be getting a lot of rain over the next month period. We're dealing with another El Nino situation, which is going to affect our hurricane season. And then check this out, guys. This is via Facebook, Robert Warchick. I hope I pronounced that right. This is Tremont, PA. This is yesterday. These are rescue trucks trying to make it through floodwaters, trying to help people get out of their houses. A lot of rescues going on. I'm not sure about deaths yet. Check out this picture from Hershey Park. This is one of their roller coasters, and this is one of the small creeks that run through that area. And I guess this was posted by, this was Daniel Zamponga. I don't know if he has anything to do with the park himself, but if you want to go give him a retweet or a like, this is where that picture came from. Very, very crazy stuff going on here. And we're talking Washington, Norfolk, relay, and this is all North Carolina, Virginia. Charleston will be involved in this too. This is going to actually spread out in this area as well. It's not like it's just this straight line going on. This is where the severe weather is. You can see these green boxes show areas of severe flooding. And now what we have to worry about, guys, are the rivers and the creeks flooding, because all the water that's even up high is beginning to flow downwards. So that's what we have to worry about. Heavy rainfall is called flash flooding in parts of the east since the weekend. Water rescues were reported, and one Pennsylvania town declared a disaster emergency. Pennsylvania is certainly a topic today. Hershey Park was forced to close Monday because of flooding in the amusement park. They are also closed today, I believe. Tropical downpours. These are just different Twitter pictures and stuff. Look at this town, guys. Imagine opening your door and seeing a river flowing between a road that you're supposed to take to go to work or go to the store. No one's leaving their houses here unless you have a boat or a one of those air beds, which I actually saw a picture of, believe it or not. Here was a lady outside her house checking out the water. This is a bridge, obviously crossing a water area, which looks like you could go whitewater rafting on it. This is from Matt Baracco at WGAL. Just picture after picture of these crazy situations going on all over the Northeast. This was pretty cool too. I wanted to show you guys this. This is on the thumbnail I used. This is called a Pileus cloud. Yes, Pileus cloud. Now what happens is updraft storm air shoots up into the sky, and then it mixes with cool air, and sometimes you get these crazy shapes. They almost look like UFOs, or like the weather guy described it as Raiden from Mortal Kombat. It looks like the hat he wears, and this was shot in actual Greenville, Alabama. So there's some crazy stuff going on there too, guys. So this is going on all over the country. I want to give credit to whoever submitted the picture. Oh, here we go. Stephanie Blue on Twitter. So if you guys want to go give her a like, thank her for the picture. This is pretty crazy. And I brought up some more examples of these clouds just to show you that they do occur. It's pretty rare to get these nice circle ones that look like actually like spaceships, if you want to call them that. But for the most part, this is what you deal with here when you're dealing with Pileus clouds. So with that said, guys, this is the topic of conversation right now. Is we got the superheat going on in the west, and then we got the high flood risk going on through Thursday. Flash flood, rising streams and rivers. That is going to be the key to this in the coming days, because all the water is now running downhill into the lowest part it can go. That's where water goes to. And now we have to worry about rivers and creeks cresting and holding that water in spots where people live. So that's why we might have evacuations. And again, you can see this line here, guys. This is the jet stream that is causing all this. So the jet stream is not allowing this moisture to move anywhere to the west. And then we got the high pressure. You can see the H here pressing this against the coast. So any moisture coming up from the Caribbean or from basically anywhere is just getting pulled right up onto the East Coast states, and that's the reason that this is happening. So again, this has been pushed into Thursday instead of Wednesday. It's currently raining right now in southeast Pennsylvania, so I know it's raining in New York. I have family in New York, New Jersey, and reading the comments below, it's just been pretty crazy. But alright guys, got to get to work. I'm not going to say I'm going to have a video 100% this afternoon, because sometimes I can't make it, so just stay tuned. I will update on Twitter or Instagram if I'm going to be posting again today. It just goes based on how my day goes and what I have going on, guys. I love getting these videos out in the morning. Sometimes I can't make it in the afternoon, but at least we got to touch base today. Stay safe out there, guys. 3 to 4 inches of rainfall in one day is basically where some areas get it in an entire summer. So take that for what it's worth. Alright guys, have a great morning. We will talk very soon. Bye-bye.